Hey friends, this is another quick video to review what we went over in class today. Remember, today we started to move away from adding and subtracting fractions and into multiplying fractions. And we started off by looking at multiplying a fraction times a whole number using the model known as a bar diagram. So I've got a problem up here, 12 times 1/2. And I'm just going to go through the steps that are in your notes of how we use bar diagrams to solve these problems. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw our bar model. Okay? And then we know that this whole model is going to represent our whole number in our problem. So the whole model represents the number 12. Then we look at our fraction, because we remember that fractions are the same thing as division, and that reminds us that we need to divide up our model. We're going to divide up our model into pieces. The number of pieces we need will be told to us by the denominator. In this case, the denominator is 2. So our model will need to be divided into 2 equal pieces. Now we have to think to ourselves, if I have my whole model, which equals 12, and I divide it into 2 separate pieces, it's the same thing as saying 12 divided by 2. Well, I know my math facts, so I know that 12 divided by 2 equals 6. So this section is worth 6, and this section is worth 6. And I can double check myself by saying 6 plus 6 equals the total, which is 12. My final step is to then look at how many parts of the whole it's asking about. And to do that, we look at the numerator, in this case 1. It's talking about one of the 2 pieces. So I'm only going to be looking right here at this piece. This is 1/2. So the answer, 12 divided by 1/2, equals 6, because half of 12 is 6. That was a pretty easy one, so let's try a harder one. Let's look at the problem 25 times 2/5. Again, the first thing we do is we draw our bar model. And we need to label what the whole model is worth. In this case, the whole model is worth 25. Next, we're going to need to divide up our model into pieces. Remember, we look at the denominator to tell us how many pieces to divide it into. In this case, we're dividing it into 5 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 equal parts. Now comes the math. We took our whole number 25 and we divided it into 5 equal parts. Oops. So we have to then figure out how much each part is worth. 25 divided by 5 equals 5. So I know 1/5 is worth 5. Each piece is worth 5. Now I have to look at my numerator to figure out how many pieces I'm looking at. In this case, I'm looking at 2 pieces. So I'm looking at this piece, and I'm looking at this piece. I'm looking at 2/5. 2/5 equals 5 plus 5, or 10. So the answer, 25 times 2/5, equals 10. Because 2/5 of 25 is 5/10. So that's just a quick review of how to use bar diagrams to multiply a whole number times a fraction. This is not what you have for homework tonight, but it is a good idea that you watch this video and think about it so that you'll be ready to go for tomorrow. If you have questions on your homework, go back and look at the videos that I posted yesterday talking about subtracting mixed numbers with regrouping, and that should help you with your homework tonight. All right, I'll see you guys in class tomorrow.